One of the things that I have been told about the Roman war is that when a Roman soldier was mortally wounded, was killed in the field of battle, and the liaison officer turns up at the parents' home, it was very important that they convey to the parent whether that mortal wound was a front wound or it was a back wound. Because if it was a back wound, the parents would conclude that their child or their, their son was running away from the enemy, and it would be a disgrace to the family, and they will not bury that child. That's one of the story I was told about the Romans war. This morning, the West Indies batsmen surrendered like cowards to the South African bowling. Having reached 20 without loss, chasing a mammoth score of close to 400 to win. I saw the Brathwaite dismissal, and then I saw the Reefer dismissal, and I must have slept off because by the time I woke up, West Indies were 26 for 5. I turned off my television and went to my bed, praying and hoping that at least they will make 100. Final score in the match, because at this time I know that this community, I have a lot of confidence in this community, and I know that by this time they would have known that West Indies have lost. So just to confirm the final score, South Africa 320 and 321, West Indies 251 and 106, losing by 284 runs. It was a bad defeat. Somehow, I do not feel hungry. I do not feel agitated. I'm disappointed, yes. But I'm probably taking solace and comfort in the fact that the regional 4-day cricket competitions resume on Wednesday. And there must be some batsmen in the region that have intensified their effort to get into the West Indies team. Because we cannot continue to accept these pathetic performances from our team. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I forgot my manners there. Welcome to the show. Please slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. I've put a link in the video description. That link is of a video that I did over 2 months ago in December, outlining the way forward for Cricket West Indies. I'm asking you, if you did not watch that video, the link is in the video description. It's a very long video, so you may not be able to watch all of it, or you could probably listen to it when you're driving or so on. It's a very long video. I want you to watch that video and give me your feedback, because those were my plans for Cricket West Indies. It's a very long one. So please watch it. It's in the video description, and I will also put the link in the chat. As I was saying, I am not too disappointed with the performances, because there are some young batsmen in the region, some not so young, but some very young ones, like the Nandu and the Melius, who should be very ambitious and should be working very hard to get into this West Indies team. Despite Bravo's age, I think Bravo may be smiling to himself and said, all I need to do is to get another 2 centuries to get back into this West Indies team. Hope and King should be looking forward to score heavily. Hope and King will be in South Africa with the ODI team. So they will not be able to play in the regional 4-day cricket. But there are some young batsmen, and I hope that they sent back Athanaze immediately so that he can prepare for the match on Wednesday. I hope that he comes back immediately. I hope they send back Devon Thomas immediately also so that he can prepare for that match. Today, as the topic said, who to drop and who to keep. I want to go through the players one by one, and I'm asking you to tell me who to drop and who to keep. I have my own opinion on who to drop and who to keep, and I'll be giving those opinions. I will take your initial comments, but please, I'm asking you, let us do this one player at a time. I'm going to take your initial comments, and then we go to one player at a time, starting with the captain, Brathwaite, as to who to drop and who to keep. So let me take your comment. Welcome, Sunil Kumar. Greetings to you, Athena. After facing such pain, I felt your comments very much like ointment. Thank you. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. Thank you. All world ready to change, and in fact, they are changing. See Sri Lanka earlier, they were nothing outside Sri Lanka, but now they are competitive. In fact, they defeated South Africa. Yes, Sunil Kumar. Sri Lanka have made so big stride. I remember that Sri Lanka, when I just started watching cricket, international cricket, Sri Lanka was not a full member country of the ICC and they were not playing test cricket. Right now, Sri Lanka is on the verge. If they can beat New Zealand 2-0 in the test series that they are currently playing, they will go through to the World Test Championship finals. Because at this time, it appears that the match between Australia and India is heading for a draw. And if that match is drawn, then Sri Lanka beating New Zealand 2-0 will reach the final. Said Ali, welcome to the show. The problem with West Indies cricket goes way beyond the men who wear the uniform. Corruption, inefficiencies did more damage to the West Indies than COVID-19. A lot of persons are agreeing with you, Sid Ali, on that one. A lot of persons. That's a fair comment. I think a lot of persons believe that. No one can bash you for that comment. Shane Aber, West Indies is falling like the London Bridge. True. They surrendered this morning. Surrendered without a fight, like cowards. The only thing I could hope for is that they did not get bowled out for less than 100. And thankfully, Da Silva lead that charge and I think made 34, and so that we were able to pass the 100. Now, please, Brathwaite, in 2014, Brathwaite, having played 16 test matches in his career at 2014, achieved his highest average in test cricket of almost 40. I wanted to put in the chat for me whether you think we should keep Brathwaite or Brathwaite should go. So having an average of almost 40, 39.85 in 2014 after 16 test matches, that's the highest average he has ever reached. Since then, his average have fluctuated in the 30s, one time reaching 37, then 36, going back to 37. But at the end of 2021, his average, having consistently been falling, fell to 32.6 after 74 matches. So after 74 test matches, Brathwaite average fell from 39.85 after 16 matches to 32.6. In 2022, Craig Brathwaite had a stellar year. He made 687 runs at an average of 62.45 and was named in the ICC Test Team of the Year. Now, we started 2023 with a magnificent 186 against Zimbabwe. At present, because of that stellar year in 2022, and because of that magnificent 186 against Zimbabwe, at the start of the year, Brathwaite average have risen from 32.6 to 34.96, adding just about 2.3 to his average over that time. An average of 35 is not good in Test cricket. The good batsmen in Test cricket average 40. The great ones average 50. And the legend average above 60. That's how it goes. So 35, averaging 35 in Test cricket, it means you're an average batsman. However, over the past 10 years, Brathwaite has scored more centuries for the West Indies than any other batsman in Test cricket. So, since making that 186 against Zimbabwe, Brathwaite's last 10 innings have been 25, 7, 11, 0, 17, and 18. I believe we should keep Brathwaite. Keeping him because of his stellar performance last year and because he started the year well. But this upcoming series against India, this upcoming Test series against India, Brathwaite need to perform at a high standards. If he continues to make scores of less than 30 in those series, because in his last 6 innings, he has not passed 30 after that magnificent 186. And while I don't think there'll be any call for the dropping of Brathwaite, it is time that he start making runs. Because if he does not make runs against India, then the call for his dropping will be loud. Certainly, there will be some people at this time who is calling for him to be dropped. I think, though, the majority of us think that he should remain in the team. I personally, when I look at the captaincy, I don't think he's a good captain. But who do we ask to captain the Test team? When you look at all the candidates, who do we really ask? And I'm going to take a deeper look before I call for his removal as captain. At this time, I reserve my opinion on his captaincy. But definitely, I will not drop him from the team. But he needs to come good against India. Let's see your comments. Let's see what you think. Should Brathwaite be dropped? Brathwaite, Kyle Myers, and Blackwood needs to make space for the youngsters. Okay, so Ashane, you're saying that Brathwaite should be dropped. Okay, good. Aaron, Brathwaite, batting needs to change his style of batting that will improve his captaincy. Athena. So you definitely keep Brathwaite. Charlie X, definitely keep Brathwaite. Sunil Singh, it was the biggest mistake to judge a player performance against Zimbabwe. Reefer, Brathwaite, Tage, all were looking so much stronger, but same players look clueless. That's a very good point you're making there. We really didn't come to the party against South Africa. But let's stick to whether Brathwaite should be dropped or not. And then we'll take the general comments later. Every top team has one common goal. They come together and try and achieve. When I look at West Indies, I don't see that. Yes, the champion. Should Brathwaite be dropped? Both openers are too defensive. Modern cricket don't allow defensive cricket and it looks boring too. Ultimately runs count and not the ball you face. That is so true. So my position is that Brathwaite should be dropped. Should not be dropped. Should not be dropped. What was very instrumental to me in this Test series against South Africa, and it was the first time that I am picking it up from Brathwaite. I do not know if it used to happen in the past, but I never saw it in the past. But looking at this Test series against South Africa, Brathwaite was not balanced at the crease. And most of the times, I don't know if something he's not concentrating or he's not focusing, but he was not balanced at the crease. And to me, on a number of occasions, he was backing away. He was set up beautifully by Rabada this morning. And also in the first innings of the first test, he was set up. Rabada just pushing back, and then bowl a full one, and Brathwaite was out. The only difference between leg before in this innings and the bowl in the first innings of the first test is that he got his pad in the way when he realized that he was tricked again by Brathwaite, by Rabada, because he was on the back foot with his right foot going towards leg stump. And you can look at it for yourself. He was on the back foot with his right foot going towards leg stump, just like how he got out in the first innings of the first test. And Rabada pitched up the delivery, and Brathwaite was gone. I don't know if it is a mind issue, for as I said, I've never seen it before. But clearly, Brathwaite was not balanced at the crease. Let's look at Chanderpaul. Should Chanderpaul be dropped or should we keep Chanderpaul? Having played 6 test matches and scored over 453 runs, with an high score of 207 not out, in that marvelous match, that opening stand with Craig Brathwaite against Zimbabwe, Brathwaite average is now 45.3, coming down from 76.4 after that 207 not out. In his last 6 innings, just like Brathwaite, he has failed to reach 50, making scores of 15, 36, 22, 10, 1, and 2. Just like Brathwaite, I would not drop Chanderpaul at this time. But if he fails to perform against India, then the call for his dropping will be loud. He has credit in the bank, having started his test career so wonderful with a 51 against Australia and leaving that 2 test match series averaging 40 and making this big, massive 207 against Zimbabwe. There was a lot of optimism about Chanderpaul, and that optimism remained. But as Sheldon Smith, a legend in this community, cautioned, he reminded us of Bharat, who scored 100 on his test debut against Australia and then went downhill. As I said to Sheldon, no one wished that for Chanderpaul. We wish Chanderpaul continued success, and we hope that he's going to turn around his form against India. Chanderpaul, like Brathwaite, has a magnificent 2022, and that's what propelled him into the test team. And he has not put a foot wrong since then. However, in his last 6 innings, his scores are nothing to write home about. I will not drop Chanderpaul at this time. I will keep him. And he and Brathwaite will still be opening for me against India. But in India series, he needs to perform. If he does not perform in the India series, his game will no longer be a certainty. That's my position. Let's see what you think about Brathwaite. Time for new coaches. Keep him. Keep him right where he is at. Tej, the honeymoon is over. True, Athena, the honeymoon is over. He needs to perform against India. Well said, Athena. Well said. Keep Tej, although I think he's better suited to bat at 3 in this team. But that's a different conversation. So, yes, Charlie X. No players above the game. Brathwaite should not be captain. Cricket is a game of imagination. Look like Brathwaite, leave no second plan. Have no second plan. Sunil, I cannot complain. I cannot say anything about that. Because long after these guys stop playing for West Indies cricket, there will still be West Indies cricket. And so they are not bigger than West Indies cricket. But I will keep him for now. 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 The problem with the West Indies is that their system of developing players is deficient. And the present 4 Atenays should have been selected for the ODI series. Do you think then should we keep Chanda Paul or should he be dropped? So let us try and answer the question and go through this in an orderly way. Brathwaite thinking under pressure is not up to the standard. He's very deficient there. He's very, very deficient. I would keep Brathwaite. I would keep Chanda Paul. The next person that I'm asking whether we should keep or drop is Raymond Reifer. Having played 7 test matches, Reifer averaged 25.90. 285 runs he have made in all, and his highest score is a 62, I think, in the first innings of the first test. Of the last 4 test matches Reifer played, he had scored half-century in 3 of them. Now, that average of 25.9 is not good. And I've made it clear before the South African tour that Reifer would not have been in my squad to South Africa. I've made it clear before the Zimbabwe tour that he will not be in my squad to Zimbabwe or to South Africa. He have gone to Zimbabwe and he have scored 2 half-centuries in 2 test matches. And in the first test match of this South African series, he had scored another half-century. I will keep Reifer on the basis that he have scored 3 half-centuries in 4 test matches. But Reifer is not my number 3. Reifer clearly is not my test number 3. Clearly, there's no doubt in my mind that Reifer is not my test number 3. Will he be in my test squad or in my test team? Yes, I will have to find a place for a player who have 3 half-centuries in 4 matches. I'll have to find a place for that player. He will be in the team, but certainly he's not my number 3. Let's hear what you are saying about Reifer. Will Reifer remain in your West Indies team? Keep champion. The champions are keep Reifer. Mr. Casanova, should we keep Reifer? Sunil, no way. No way Reifer should continue. Good. I love the different opinion. Then both Craig and Tate should persist with. They are the most consistent at this time in the West Indies team. Just to clarify something there, Dane, I will persist with them. But over their last 6 innings, they are not the most consistent in the West Indies team. Just clarifying that for you, Dane. I would keep them. They have been prolific, but over their last 6 innings, they have not been. Half and half cricketers, so funny. Okay, I think I'd keep Reifer, but I would have him at number 8. So you are going to play Reifer mostly as a bowler. Because my thing is that if you are batting at 8, you should be a bowler. And if you are batting in the top 6, you should be a batsman. William Bill Pringer, the noted cricket station, AK, the brave wonder, would have an easy job. Keith Aaron, Reifer should be at 6. Yes, I would keep Reifer because of his work over the years and he deserves a chance. Valerie Har, welcome to the show. Ambrose bowling coach, Chanda Paul batting coach, and a psychologist. True Valerie Har, I believe in that. Would you keep Reifer? Darren Bravo is far better player than all these batsmen. And one of the things that I've done during this test series is to support the team. But now the test series is over, I am going to be critical. And I agree. I would have Darren Bravo in South Africa. Reifer under par, must go. Good. So we are having different opinions. Some people are saying keep Reefer. Some are saying that he must go. Yes, Reefer is underutilized as a bowler. So which one of the bowlers would you drop? As what, a batsman or a bowler? That's a good question. I would keep him as a batsman. The reason why I would keep him as a batsman is that, as I've said, he had scored 3 half centuries in his last 4 test match. It is hard to drop somebody who is batting at number 3 and give you 3 half centuries in his last 4 test match. I do not believe he's a number 3, but it would be unfair and inconsistent to drop someone who has scored 3 half centuries in their last 4 matches. I do not see Reef as a bowler. I repeatedly said I do not believe in these bits and pieces cricketers. You pick your 6 best batsmen, your wicket keeper, and your 4 best bowlers. If you are batting in the top 6, you should be seen as a batsman. If you can contribute with the ball, fine. That's complimentary. And if you are batting from 8 to 11 and you can contribute with the bat, that is good. That is complimentary. But if you are batting from 8 to 11 and you make 100 and you are not getting wicket, in my opinion, you should be dropped. If you are batting from 1 to 6 and you are averaging 30 and below, but you are getting 3-4 wickets, in my opinion, you should either be playing as a bowler, but you definitely should not be batting in the top 6. That is my opinion. I'm absolutely clear about that. I have no doubt in my mind. You should not be batting in the top 6 and not contributing significantly with the bat. You should be one of the best batsmen. Yes, Mr. Casanova, these bits and pieces cricketers, we have to stop selecting them. We have to stop, because they continue to perform in one era and we pick them because they perform in that era. But we need batsmen, top 6 batsmen. Like when we were dominating cricket, we have 6 specialist batsmen. Australia have 6 specialist batsmen. Look at Cameron Green. We all know that Cameron Green is a very good bowler, but he's not picking the Australian team as a bowler. He's mostly picked as a batsman, and that's his responsibility, to bat. If Cameron Green is not scoring consistently, he will not make the Australian team. When Cameron Green was injured for the first 2 test matches, or 3 test matches against India, they did not use a bowler to replace him at number 6. They use a frontline batsman to replace him at number 6. You must always pick your best 6 batsmen to bat from 1 to 6. And your best bowlers bat from 8 to 11, and you have a keeper. Some teams like India, when they have the guy that injured, what is his name, Pant, who's a very good batsman and as a keeper, he bats sometime at 5 or 6 or so on. But generally, in a cricket team, the keeper usually bats at 7. And it's a sort of a line between the batsmen and the bowlers. Once, Athena, what is defined as a batsman in the top 6? The batsman in the top 6, in my opinion, when you're in the top 6, you're a batsman. Ideally, as I said, a good batsman in Test cricket will average above 40. The average batsman like Brathwaite will probably average somewhere around 35. But a 35 batting average is not good if that is the highest batting average in the team. It shows a weak team. A very good team of most of their top 6 batsmen, of their top 7 batsmen, averaging high 30s into the 40s and 1 or 2 of them in the 50s. Generally, that's a good batting team. Batsmen averaging 40 and above are considered good batsmen. Anything below 40, between 40 and 35, you can average it and you're an average batsman. They call you an average batsman. But above 40, you are considered a good Test batsman. And no one in the West Indies cricket team except Chanderpaul, who just played 7 matches, and his average is dropping like wildfire, averages above 40. Now, so let's look at Blackwood. And here's where the controversy starts. Because Blackwood, having played 54 test matches, averages 30.52. His last 6 innings is 57, 22, 37, 79, 6, and 4. Do you keep Blackwood or do you let him go? Do you keep Blackwood? Talk to me in the comment section. I want you to talk to me. Put your comments in the comment section. Would you keep Blackwood? His averages is only 52 after 54 matches. His last 6 innings, 57, 22, 37, 79, 6, and 4. Blackwood, to me, is sitting right on the fence. He's sitting right on the fence. I do not know whether I should push Blackwood to the left or push him to the right. But because he has had 2 off centuries in his last 6 innings, I'm going to give him a slight nudge to the right. Just a slight nudge. If he failed in the first test against India, I will drop him. Clearly, I will drop him. Blackwood is on his last chance. Despite that 79 in the second innings against South Africa, his average still remains 30. And that is very, very low. But you know who's going to give me the opportunity to drop Blackwood? Who's going to give me the opportunity to drop Blackwood? In the regional 4-day cricket tournament restarting Wednesday, these young cricketers, along with Bravo and Sunil Ambrish, Melius, Nandu, Imlak, and all of those guys that you have been calling for, they need to allow me to drop Blackwood. They need to score at least 2 centuries in the remaining 3 rounds. In the case of Ambrish, who have scored 4 off centuries so far in the regional 4-day tournament, if he scored a century, Ambrish will be in my squad. No doubt about it. I want Nandu. I hope Nandu will score some more runs. I hope Bravo will score some more runs. But if these guys don't score runs consistently, how do I drop Blackwood? How do I drop Blackwood if these guys don't score runs consistently? So let me take your comment on the Blackwood. The vice captain Tiger got him hanging on by a thread. Blackwood must go. Blackwood must go. When you say no, you mean no that he should stay or he should go? So the Charlie X, the vice captaincy, has him on hanging by a thread. Exactly. He just remained for me. Just remained. Blackwood only has 12 man. Athena, okay, good. Athena have him just remained in 2, but she would not have him in the 11. She will have him as 12 man. Good. I would keep Blackwood for the time being. He's a true fighter. Okay, good. I would keep Blackwood for now. Good. So the majority of persons are saying that they will keep Blackwood, but just give him 1 more series. Yes, Rupert Morgan, how you doing? 1 more series. Blackwood have to stay. Good. I would keep him, but as I said, I would just keep him. Blackwood is the backbone of our fragile batting, but like our batters, he's too inconsistent. Gerard Mead, that is my challenge with Blackwood. That is my challenge with Blackwood. We need more out of Blackwood. True. Blackwood should not be vice captain. That is giving him some protection from being dropped. I welcome the diverse comment. Dane, very good. Are we winning no? So some of the current need to go. Yes, I agree with you, Stephen. Some of the current needs to go. And that is why it's very important that these youngsters, these batsmen in the regional 4-day cricket tournament starting on Wednesday, it is very important that they give us a reason to drop these guys. It's very important. Keep Blackwood. Okay, you will keep Blackwood. I would just keep him. Good, good, good. Blackwood, that's the frustration, stay humble. Blackwood always just enough to remain in the team, but nothing spectacular. That's the frustration with Blackwood. I don't know if you remember that I told you at the start of the Zimbabwe tour that Blackwood is going to score 1 century and he will play for the rest of the year. He did not score a century, but he scored 2 half centuries, which is probably even better than 1 century because he did 1 against Zimbabwe, 1 against South Africa. That is the problem that I'm having with Blackwood. Stay humble, very good observation. He's just always doing enough. And you wonder about the pride factor. You wonder about the pride. His pride is that he's just doing enough to stay in the team, or he does not have the pride to become a great batsman. I don't know. My wife used to teach Blackwood. She used to teach Blackwood, but I don't know. Shagga said, keep him as a reserve. Keep him as a reserve. Maybe I need to talk to her about what is Blackwood mindset like. What about Brandon King? Should we keep... Thank you for your comment, Myers. But tell Telford Myers, should we keep Blackwood or should we let him go? We are going on to Chase next, so maybe you want to contribute there. The atmosphere is difficult for West Indies players. South Africa is 1034 meters above sea level, so it's very hard for them to breathe. So I don't know. India went there last year and win. Barefaced Indians, we don't really want to find excuses here. You can't build good team with Blackwood. You can't build, and that's a solid point, you know. Can we build a good team with Blackwood, which is inconsistent? That's a good point Sonny is making there now. That's a very good point. Can we build a good team? Can we really build a good team with an inconsistent player? Or will a good team make him more consistent? Will a good team make him more consistent? Enough is not right to make the team. Enough is not a right to make the team. Athena, enough is not a right to make the team. I got what you mean. He's just doing enough to make the team, and that is not a right. He should be doing more. If you keep same players, then forget about winning. That is true. We need to change up the things. But Sunil, who would you put? Who would you put if these guys are not delivering? Now let's take a look at Ruston Chase. And I want to say this up front, I am dropping Chase. I would not have Chase in my team for Australia. He would not have gone to Zimbabwe, and he would not have gone to Australia, to South Africa. Chase is very ordinary in my opinion. Very ordinary. Having played 49 matches for the West Indies, his average is 26.33. And let me tell you something. I have an experience Friday morning. When Chase was walking out to bat Friday, and his statistics came on the screen, automatically my face flashes away from the screen because I was embarrassed to see a batsman walking out to bat for the West Indies at number 5. At number 5 for the West Indies with a 26 average. I was embarrassed. I couldn't look at the statistics on the screen. The West Indies number 5 batsman, having played 49 test matches, averaging 26, I could not look on the screen. And it is not like he's a bowler, because in the 49 matches he played, he only got 85 wickets. That means he's getting less than 2 wickets per match. So is Chase a bowler or is he a batsman? He gets his 85 wickets at 46 apiece. That means if he gets 10 wickets in a match, the opposition will score 460 runs. Just a theoretical speaking. I know that is not the practicality of it, but just a theoretical speaking. That's what getting a wicket at 46 apiece mean. When you get 10 wickets, you conceded 460 runs. That's what it means. Furthermore, he has a strike rate of 80. 80. That's more than 13 overs. So he has to bowl 13 overs on average before he gets a wicket. So is he a bowler or is he a batsman? What is Chase doing in the team? I am not keeping Chase. Chase is nowhere near my squad. He's nowhere near my squad. I have nothing against Chase. I do not know the man. I have nothing against him. But based on his performance, you cannot be averaging 26. And his last 6 innings for the West Indies, although he got a 70 against Zimbabwe, 14, 70, 22, 0, 28, and 0. That's his last 6 innings. And the last 4 times that he got out, it's primary school dismissals. Chase, I have nothing against him. And the passion with which I spoke about not having Chase in the team, it doesn't have anything to do with how I feel about the young man. I have nothing against him. I'm just a passionate person, and when I get warm, I get warm. I have nothing against Chase. But averaging 26.3, he has no place in this team. No place. Chase got to refund this paycheck. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a very good one. That's a very good one. Supernova 22. I agree. If Chase was performing, he's a good test player to have because spinner all-rounders are rare. But he deserves to be dropped. Thank you, Mr. Casanova. Chase has bat top 6 all career. His averages, Matt Pryor, would you keep him or would you drop him? His average is 26. Why do players like Chase, Open, or Shane Thomas, who all have so much potential, fail to live up to the expectation? You wonder if they take pride in their game, Gerard Mead. It must come down to a pride thing. Get King in the team. Yes, get him in. Matt Pryor, so true. Athena, so true. Matt Pryor, 50 test matches. What a lot of chances. Sure, he have far too many chances. I remember that magical 16-17 season, but that was 6 years ago. Much respect to Raston, but he must be dropped. Surely, he must be dropped. I think you would do a great job selecting a good West Indies team. No jokes. Thank you, Sugars. Thank you. I think I will do a good job too, because definitely I will not see country. I will see player. I will see performances. And I will go to the match and I'll watch these matches. Because I don't think, I've said it on many occasions, that I don't think these guys watch the matches. I don't. Now, if they were watching the matches, unless it's the injury, maybe it's the injury, so maybe I shouldn't comment. But if it was not the injury to Motti, why is Roach and Joseph batting ahead of Motti? I hoping that is because of the back injury why he batted at 11. But we know that Motti is very capable with the bat. And I was thinking, again, this is another signal that these guys are not really watching the cricket. But then I think about it some more, and I said maybe it's because of the injury. So let's see what happened in future matches. I would be a good selector, I know that. West Indies cricket will not give me high blood pressure. God have mercy on West Indies. Changing live broadcast. That's true. That's the way to look at it. As I was saying at the start of the broadcast, I do not feel hungry. I certainly do not feel hungry. What was the reason for Chase recall? No runs or wickets in the regional. Matt Pryor, when he was recalled to the team to tour Australia, the chief selector said that he's the best off spinner in the region. Keep, but not in the playing level. The champion said keep. You're the only one who's saying that, but nothing wrong with you having a different opinion from the rest. Is Phil Simmons still coaching West Indies cricket team by the invisible hand? People, let us know. Mr. Adam Smith, we are taking cricket, not economics, sir. Now, when Phil Simmons is done with West Indies cricket, what I know, though, is that from all indications, I don't think Kohli is in charge of this team. I would like Cornwall to lose weight and so on. That is true. I'm going now to go to probably the most controversial. Joseph and Smith should be opening the bowling in Test. Chase must go. That is true. Chase should go. Chase, okay, this is a different opinion here, and I welcome this. Chase was misused for most of his Test career. He's a batsman that can hold and end down bowling. Chase went off course when he started playing T20 cricket. Cool. Yes, I was saying that. Thank you, Sugar. So the next player at number 6 is Kyle Myers. So Kyle Myers, and who can forget? I remember waking up that Sunday morning and saw Kyle Myers and 180 something, and Bonner is with him. And I called a friend and said, you need to watch this. It was early this Sunday morning, probably about 3-4 o'clock, and said, you need to watch this. When in that magnificent chase in Bangladesh, where Myers made that magnificent 210 not out. After 18 matches, Myers has scored 949 runs. He's averaging 32.72. Again, that is not satisfactory for a top 6 batsman in a Test team. Go through the list of batsmen in the teams in Test cricket and see how many of them is averaging 32, top 6. I cannot think of one coming to my head right now. Myers have taken 34 wickets at 18.29. That is world-class bowling, you know. That statistics, they're taking wicket for an average of 18.29 at a strike rate of 44. That is world-class bowling. I said yesterday that he was not a world-class bowler. But when you look at these statistics, these statistics reflect world class. So maybe Myers should be used more as a bowler and less as a batsman. We saw in that match when he got 6 wickets against England, he batted at number 7 and Joshua De Silva batted at number 8. So maybe they wanted to bat him at 8, but he just decided that they will put him at 7. So clearly they played him in that match as a bowler. My position on Myers is clear, and I'm absolutely clear here. Myers at this time does not merit his place in the team as a batsman. His bowling is good, as that statistics reflect. Since his 148 against Bangladesh, his scores have been 1, 10, 20, 17, 30, 18, 0, 29, and 7. And he has gotten 10 wickets in that time. Now, 10 wickets over a period of 6 Test matches is not special. But that could be as a result of he being underbowled. Yesterday, you would have heard I said that I always think Myers should bowl more. In my preview before the team tour South Africa, I said that I expect that Myers will be one of our top bowlers down there. I do not think that Myers is a number 6 batsman. I think that we need to play a specialist batsman at number 6. Myers started his career as a bowler. Maybe we should see Myers more as a number 8, bowling 15 to 20 overs a day. Ask him to develop his bowling because those statistics are very good. I would keep Myers, but I'm not keeping him as my number 6. He's not my number 6, but I would keep him in the squad. Let's see what you think. First class players win matches. First class players, true. Top class players win world class. Too much all-rounders playing test cricket for the West Indies. True, Juna Davis. Very true. Why haven't we heard from the coach or the batting coach? They keep sending players to do interview. These coaches need to tell the people why they fail. Oh my God, what a good comment. What a good observation. Do you realize that they're hiding? They're hiding, man. They're hiding. We want to hear from them. But it goes back to show that this team, it is Brathwaite who has the power. I'm telling you, Brathwaite is the power broker in this team. What he says goes. I'm telling you, I have to put stats into perspective. That debut 200 carrying his average still. That is true, Matt Pryor. That is true. If you take away, and if is not in cricket, so I should not use if. But that 32 average is not good for a number 6. And his last 8 innings, he has not passed 40. So Chase need to come to the party. Not Chase, Mears. Mears is not my number 6. I'm telling you. We have 5 coaches in South Africa, yet we lost. Wow. Matt Pryor. As stats for Mears is misleading at first sight, the Cricket Forum, that 32 average is not real. Mears only have 4 scores of 50 and above in 18 matches. 2 half centuries, 2 centuries, including the double centuries. We do not have a psychologist at Tina. We do not have one. It is said that Brian Lara is a performance coach. So clearly, I would drop Chase. I would keep Myers, but he's not a number 6. I would keep Myers. Blackwood, I would just keep him. As somebody said, he's a 12th man. I would keep Reefer because of his 3 centuries in 3 test matches. And the captain and Chanderpaul has some credit because of what they did last year and in that first match against Zimbabwe. But the bowlers, Da Silva, let's look at Da Silva. Before Cricket Forum, I have a hot take. I think Myers is actually better suited as an opener with Brathwaite. He has likes when the ball comes quickly onto the bat and complement Brathwaite's style. And so you'll have Brathwaite and you'll have Chanderpaul at 3. Charlie X, I love this type of imaginative thinking. Let's see what the chat is saying about it. But I love those type of imaginative thinking. I will think about it some more, but I love these ideas. I love these ideas. And a scientist long ago said, if you keep doing the same thing the same way all the time, you are going to get the same result. So why not mix it up a bit? That's not a bad idea. Let's give it some more thought, Charlie X. Let's give it some more thought. If our batting costs us the second test and the first test, then what is the batting coach doing? He should be fired. He should be fired, Kermit. He should be fired. No doubt about that, he should be fired. In a perfect world, all the Chase, Myers, and Reefer should be fighting for the same spot. Exactly, stay humble. This guy understands cricket. All the Chase, Myers, and Reefer should be fighting for the same spot. That is true. The problem is John Campbell had the same batting style, but look how that worked out. Well, you are replying to Charles X. We need to be blamed because as soon as a player excel, we put them on a pedestal, and that goes to their head. That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. Now let's look at Joshua Da Silva. Joshua Da Silva, I would keep Joshua Da Silva. Since making that 100 against England, Joshua Da Silva's score have been 1, 29, 0, 12, 23, 15, 3 not out, 9 not out, 44, 4, 17, 26, and 34. I want my keeper to be making more runs than this. But why I would keep Joshua Da Silva? This is my reason. I look at Joshua Da Silva and his keeping has improved tremendously. There's one technicality that he needs to sort out. When he's going to his left, he tends to move slow. He needs to get in another step a little quicker. And when he dives to his left, instead of the gloves, his left gloves, forming a 45-degree angle with the ground, it is forming a 90-degree angle. So he needs to work on that. The gloves is forming a 90-degree angle with the ground instead of forming the angle like this when he dives to his left. So he needs to work on that. And he needs to make, when he's going to his left, he needs to make that step a little quicker before he dives. But his keeping has come on a lot. Now, since making that 100 against England, these scores are nothing to write home about. On any other team, he would probably be dropped. Why I'm not dropping the silver though, I am blaming the top 6 batsmen for getting out too quickly. And most of the time, the silver, having kept wicket, and you and I know that apart from the bowling, keeping wicket, well, maybe keeping wicket is a hardest job. You have to concentrate on every delivery. You have to stoop for every delivery, and you have to get up every delivery. Almost every delivery comes to you, almost all. Even when the ball goes to the boundary, they return it to you on most occasions. The wicket keeping job is a very hard job. And these scores, why I forgave the silver for this score, is that because the top 6 is not giving him enough rest before he comes to bat. So I'll keep the silver. But like Blackwood, I am just keeping him. Just. He needs to deliver against India. I'm just keeping him. So I will keep the silver. The silver doesn't give away his wicket, and his keeping is good. Until he gets consecutive scores below 30, his spot should be safe. Okay, Supernova 22, good. The silver should bat at 6, the end. Okay, Charlie X. You choosing what comments to highlight and talk about. You are getting on just like a Bajan bro. Favoritism again. No, everyone in this chat will tell you that I'm not a favorite person. No, I apologize if I skipped over your comment. As I explained, sir, the comments runs up. And just like I'm talking to your comment now, there are comments that will pass. So I would never do that. I apologize. The lifeblood of this show, as I've said on many occasions, is the interaction with the audience. So I will never skip over your comment. No way would I skip over your comment. No way. The series was lost already. You can't judge a batsman on this last innings. Adrian Bishop, if you look at all the batsmen statistics that I've put on the screen, and maybe you were not here from the beginning, but from Brathwaite comes right down, I list their last 6, 8, or 10 innings. So clearly, Adrian Bishop, you are just joining the show because I put their statistics on the screen and I did not judge them based on this last innings. So Adrian, tell me, of the top 6 batsmen, who would you keep in this squad? Please tell me. Good wicket keeper, bat at number 7, true. Let Older and the Silvers bat higher. The thing about Older is that whenever Older bat at 7, 6, when Older bat at 6, he averages 21. When he bats at 7, he averages 23. So at 6, he averages 21. At 7, he averages 23. However, at 8, he averages 35. And at 9, he averages 39. So I would keep Older at 8 or 9 as a batsman and play him largely as a bowler. Bat. Number 3 or 4 to 6 can't stay the same. True, 3, 4, 6 can't stay the same. That is true. Chase should be dropped. True. My choice for India test only pick those players who played in the regional game. No one who went to South Africa should be selected. We have nothing to lose because we are already losing with the current lad. Currently, and that's why we always welcome different opinions here. I won't drop all of them, but we really that's adding something to the show. That's doing something different. So we welcome it. Yes, Adrian Bishop, Blackwood, Brathwaite, and Chanderpaul. Those are the 3 you will keep. You will drop the rest. So my position is that Brathwaite and Chanderpaul, I will definitely keep. I will also keep Reefer, but Reefer will not be my number 3. I will keep Blackwood, but I would just keep him. Just as one person say, keep him as 12 man. Maybe not, but I would just keep Blackwood. Chase, definitely drop. Mayers, I will not have Mayers as my number 6. I will have him in my squad. I don't sure if I'll play him as a bowler, but he's definitely not my number 6. I will keep Da Silva. I think his wicket keeping has improved tremendously. His batting need to improve. But the reason why his batting is so poor and his results are so poor is because he's been asked to bat too quickly after keeping. Da Silva has improved tremendously as a keeper. Through Valerie, or I've seen it. I think his batting is failing because there's no foundation to work on. Through is batting too quick. I agree with you. The captain keep use these defensive field placement. Terrible. No imagination. We need to fix the bowling. Shannon cannot continue. We need to fix the bowling. Okay, move Da Silva to 3 or 4 so he can build always come when the games almost last. I have said that before that Da Silva should move to 3 or 4, but we should take the gloves from him. But it would be unfair to take the gloves from him, as someone pointed out in the chat, because if he goes to 3 and 4 and you take the gloves from him and fail, are you going to now give him back the gloves? What if the person who has the gloves is doing well? Ian, we need to be like the English, rotate 2, 3 of them. But we do not have the depth. You see, England is in New Zealand playing a test match, and their ODI squad is in Bangladesh playing an ODI series. We do not have that depth that the English have. A good cricket team have 2 full days to make 300 plus runs. That should be an easy win. That is true. Athena, Josh should be in the ODI. Okay, Da Silva can open, put him to open and put Tage at number 3. So there are lots of different comments coming in, which we all welcome. Joseph needs to be bat as 6 with instruction to bat as well as he know he can. Jeremy is a legend of this chat, Jeremy, but we do not expect to see Joseph at 6. I want to say something about Joseph and the bowling. This is particular the bowling. And I'm going to look at the ICC test batting ranking. Our top 5 batsmen in the ICC ranking. Not the top 5 in the West Indies batting order. Our highest 5 ranking West Indies batsmen. Brathwaite is at 24. Blackwood is at 35. Bonner is at 54. Chanderpaul is at 64. And Mayers is at 67. Those are our highest 5 ranking batsmen. The problem with our batsmen, for they to be ranked so lowly in the ICC ranking, so we should not expect that they will be chasing down 390. The problem with them is that they do not bat long enough. Our batsmen do not train hard enough. Our batsmen do not practice long enough. They do not have the skill. They do not have the confidence that they have the skill to deal with situations. And because they do not do specific training, They do not do specialized training. When a situation confronts them, mentally, they do not know how to get out of the situation because they have not spent their time acquiring the skill set to deal with specific situations in a game. Last night, in the match between India and Australia, between lunch and tea, Steve Smith set 7 fielders on the onside and asked his bowlers to bowl middle and leg stump to Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill blocked it out until they changed tactics. He trusted himself and knows that he has the techniques to survive that tragedy of the Australian. And he bided his time. And he ended up making 128. This is the same Shubman Gill who he and Athanaze was at the 2018 Under-19 World Cup. So our players, and we can blame Cricket West Indies all we like, but I've been preaching it. Where does the player takes responsibility? A carpenter invests in the tools. An electrician invests in his tools. And the great ones invest in high-end tools, high-end technology. I asked the question before, how many of our young batsmen, these players who have been retained by their regional board and been paid well, how many of them have invested in a bowling machine? How many of them have invested in a net bowler? How many of them have invested and asked the coach of their regional board, who should always be available, to come feed some balls in the bowling machine to them? There are a number of things that these guys can do to improve their game. Cricket West Indies and the regional boards have some blames to take. But the players are going to benefit from their performances more than Cricket West Indies. The amount of money that is available in the cricket nowadays, that if you do not have any pride, that in itself should be a motivating factor for you and your family to improve your standard of living. Invest. I am calling upon these young cricketers in the West Indies to invest in themselves, invest in their tools, invest in their preparation, because this problem will continue. You need to be picked for the West Indies team, not because someone likes you, but you need to be picked for the West Indies team because they have no choice because of your performances. Invest in yourself. Acquire the skills to deal with the situations. Until you reach that level, you will have to be always worried whether you will be in the next match, or you'll be playing the next game, or you'll be selected. If, for example, and I'm just using this as an example, if Bravo scored 3 centuries in the next 3 rounds of the 4-day regional tournament, and any one of them, Imlak, Nandu, Melius, Ambris, any one of them put in a consistent high performance for the next 3 regional games. And in those 2 weeks Headley Trophy matches, they put in some good performances. They will be picked for the India Test Series, not because they're like, but because the entire West Indies have seen their performances and know that they should be in the squad. I call upon these young cricketers again. As I said, there's a video that I did in December, and it's in the comment section. I want you to watch that video and to give me your feedback. Our bowlers and the ICC ranking table. In 14th position is Kemar Roach. 20th is Older. 30th is Joseph. 42 is Myers. And 45 is Jaden Seals. Moti is at 46. But these are the top 5 ranked West Indies bowlers on the ICC ranking chart. Generally, I think our bowlers can improve. And I want to say this. I look at Joseph bowl yesterday. He bowled 13 overs in the day's play. I am telling you that if our premier fast bowler is bowling 13 overs in the day's play, he will not improve as a bowler. He needs to be bowling anywhere between 18 and 22 overs in a day's play. It is when he's tired and the going gets rough that he's going to learn to improve. You do not improve in your comfort zone. You have to go beyond your comfort zone to improve. And these bunch of all-rounders that we're playing, and with everybody bowling 5, 8, 10, and 12 overs, none of them are improving. None of them. You start improving and check the expert. Check the expert. Check the other nations. You start improving. If you doubt me, ask the world-class bowlers. You learn from bowling, and bowling when you're tired. You learn from bowling those big spells at the end of the day's play. That's when you learn. Now I'm going to try and draw a comparison between track and field and bowling. I am not an expert in track and field, so if there's someone in the chat who is an expert in track and field, you maybe know the technical terms and know this better than what I'm saying. Majority of persons who does track and field, over 50% of them, maybe as much as 70% of them, all of them started out want to run the 100 meters. They soon find out that they are not fast enough or quick enough, as there are many other 100-meter runners quicker than them. So they switch to other events. So take the 400 for example. You are always running 100 meter. But the first day you decide to run on the 400 meter, you blaze out of the blocks, and by you reach 150 meters, you started to walk. That is like the fast bowler bowling 10, 12 overs in a day's play. He can only run 150 meters. He cannot complete the 400 meters. But the coach get that person and they start to teach them form and pacing themselves and form. And eventually they are able to complete the 400 meters. I rate Joseph a lot. But for Joseph to graduate to the next level of greatness, we cannot have him bowling only 13 overs in a day's play. He needs to be bowling 20 overs because isn't that home stretch. When the 400-meter runner turns on that home stretch and he's able to hold his form and his pace and carry him to the line, that's the same thing that is going to happen when our premier bowlers start bowling 20-22 overs in a day's play. That is when their bowling is going to really develop. That is when. The other thing I want to touch on quickly is Cricket West Indies. It's all indication that Motie was injured for this test, for the first test match. But because Cricket West Indies have a trust deficit, and there are people who do not really believe that Motie was injured, Cricket West Indies forced the hand and play Motie. Jayden Seales got a worse injury in Australia because he played when he should not have played because he was injured. And as a result, he has to do an operation and will not return until April. I saw videos of him start walking again, which is very good. I hope that Cricket West Indies did not rush back Motie too quickly and that the injury that the young man has gotten worse. I hope that is not the case. I really hope that is not the case. I'll take some of your comment. You think West Indies players care if they lose? It doesn't appear so, Juna Davis. It doesn't appear so. Athena, psychologists should be employed at all levels of the game, from youth to seniors and also at home. Please though, slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button. I am saying to you, look at that video. The link is in the description. I did that show in December. Please view it and give me your opinion. Dean Davy Facts, thank you for that comment, sir. It's poorly kept secret that West Indies players don't practice their game during the off season. True. Cricketers in the West Indies. And I heard the great track and field coach in West Indies, Francis. What Francis' first name? Francis. He's a former coach of Asafa Powell and Shelley. He's a former coach of Elaine Davis. He's now the present coach of Sharika. Stephen Francis saying that cricketers train for 2 hours to play a 6 hours game, and we do not understand. The persons who do track and field, Usain Bolt race finished in less than 10 seconds, but he spent hours each day training. That's how track and field players do. Footballers' game finish in 2 hours, but they spend hours training. A golfer spend all day on the golf course practicing because his game lasts 18 holes, and that 18 holes probably take 5 hours. But cricketers practice for 2 hours, especially in the West Indies. They do not practice on their own. If there's no organized practice, they do not practice. I don't agree dropping people. You don't agree dropping people, Ferrell Francis? Well, you need to give reasons for that, because not dropping people is, I would say, that you believe in mediocrity. Da Silva must be in the West Indies team and be vice captain, for now he's the best player in the team along with Joseph. What about Motie? Motie is very good too. Roger Hines. Many of the past West Indian players used to play a lot of county cricket, and at the regional level, there was a foundation in every island or country, and these guys did great. Yes, we used to play a lot of county cricket, But the thing about it now is that our standard has fallen. And England is now limiting the number of players that each county can select. I think it's only 2 players now per county. Many of the so that's the thing now. Need another fast bowler. That is true, David. But remember, he's young and he's one of the 3 squads can't pressure, and he's one of the 3 squads can't pressure him. He will only learn. He's 26, Dean Davy. He will only learn when he moves out of his comfort zone. You know, and he's in the 3 squad. I understand that. And maybe that's why he should not be in the 3 squads. But if he's to develop as a player, he needs to bowl when the going get tough at the end of the day's play. And he needs to bowl well then. Ask all the great bowlers. Australia, New Zealand, and India players have access to psychologists 24/7 in and out of season through Athena. Carly, how you do? Too many all-rounders. That's why we can't bowl more overs. True. That's a problem. The all-rounders is a problem every point. These players can't angle raw pace or swing bowling. Poor foot movement. No bowling at depth. So ordinary. Yes. This comment is a very true comment, you know. I remember when I was growing up, I used to see cricketers batting socks, and I used to bat it too. And I tell people 2 things the socks does. It helps you with your foot movements, and it helps you to watch the ball. You have to watch the socks, else you're not going to hit it. And you have to move your foot to back it up so that you can hit it ahead of you again. True comment. Adrian Bishop. Rabada gave South Africa 7 overs of sustained pace in the case of Anderson Broad. If they start taking wickets, you can't get the ball out of their hands. That is true. Juna Davis. I can remember when Walsh used to bowl the session between lunch and tea and all up one end and get result. That is true, Juna Davis. Our fast bowlers need to learn these things. Tony Motley, how are you? Blackwood should be dropped. He's a waste. Okay, that's good. Yeah, well, you're giving your comment. That comment, I think he should be in. But if you think he should be dropped, there's no issue because a number of persons in the chat believe he should be in. A number of persons in the chat don't believe he should be in. But as far as I'm concerned, he's right on the edge. If he doesn't perform against India, then that's it. That is my position. There are way too many jack of all trades. True. Blackwood should. Oh, I read that one already. Okay. Ferrell Francis. Guy, we can't blame the players alone. This West Indies first-class cricket. I do not blame the players alone, but where does the players take responsibility? Where does the players take responsibility? Please slash a like on the video. I apologize if I did not read your comment. Thank you for tuning in. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. I apologize if I did not read your comment. If you put the comment in the comment section of the video anyhow, I will respond to it as soon as possible. I apologize again if I did not read your comment. Please take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and have a great day. And we hope we do better in the ODI series starting on Thursday. God bless you. Be good.